Let me speak to you from a place of truth, not anger. From lessons earned the hard way, not theory. Because a lot of good people are tired right now. Not tired from working, but tired from giving. Tired from always being the one who understands, the one who forgives, the one who bends. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that being kind meant being available, that love meant sacrifice without limits, that saying yes made you valuable. But nobody told you what happens when kindness has no boundaries. This isn't about becoming cold. This isn't about losing your heart. This is about understanding why being too kind is making your life heavier than it needs to be, and how to reclaim your strength without losing your soul. We grow up being taught that closure is some kind of magic key, that if the person who hurt us explains themselves, apologizes, or even admits they were wrong, our hearts will somehow stop aching. We think that when someone finally tells us why they did what they did, everything will suddenly make sense. And for a moment, we imagine we'll feel lighter, as if the universe just aligned in our favor. But the truth is, life doesn't work that way. You can't control how someone treats you. You can't force someone to see your pain, to acknowledge your worth, or to care enough to make amends. Closure is not a guarantee. It's an expectation we place on others when what we really need lives inside of us. Think about the time someone walked out of your life without a word, without an explanation. You waited, hoping, believing that eventually they come back with an answer. Months go by. You replay every conversation in your head, wondering what you could have done differently, wishing you had the power to change their choices, but that answer never comes. And in that waiting, in that limbo, you give away pieces of your peace every single day. The power is not in waiting for them. The power is in the moment you stop. The power is in saying, I don't need their words to define who I am. I don't need their validation to honor my worth. I know people who spent years chasing closure, thinking that if only the other person said the right thing, they could finally move on. And I've seen it destroy them. They became haunted by memories, trapped by the possibility of what might have been said. But there's a different way to live. There's a way to reclaim your time, your energy, your life, by understanding that self-respect is the real answer. Self-respect is the quiet strength that doesn't need anyone's permission to exist. Self-respect is walking away while they're still standing, without bitterness, without resentment, knowing that your worth isn't tied to someone else's actions. When you value yourself enough, you no longer wait for explanations that may never come. You no longer hope for apologies that were never intended. You no longer let someone else's behavior dictate how you feel about yourself. And the beauty of self-respect is that it frees you in ways closure never could. It's internal. It's unshakable. You can be hurt, disappointed, even betrayed, but you are never broken if you hold your own respect as the highest priority. Think about the times people have wronged you. Maybe a friend betrayed your trust. Maybe a partner left without a word. Maybe a family member disappointed you in ways that shook your faith. Now think about how long you held on to the expectation that they would fix it, that they would recognize your pain, that they would make things right. How much energy did you waste replaying the scenarios in your head? How many nights did you lie awake trying to rationalize their behavior, trying to find reasons for what they did? All that time could have been spent on your own growth, on your own healing, on building a life that no one could disrupt. I remember someone telling me about a breakup that had left them devastated. They spent months writing letters they never sent, rehearsing conversations that would never happen, hoping for a text or a call that would give them the closure they wanted. But the day they finally stopped waiting was the day they began living. They realized that their peace was more important than someone else's explanation. They realized that self-respect was not negotiable. And in that realization, they found freedom. They didn't need the other person's validation. They didn't need their permission to heal. They simply needed to honor themselves. This is not just about romantic relationships either. Self-respect applies to friendships, business partnerships, and even family. How many people have held on to toxic friendships because they were waiting for the other person to apologize? How many have stayed in jobs or collaborations where they were undervalued, hoping for recognition that never came? When you operate from the mindset of waiting for closure, you give others control over your life. You let them dictate how you feel, how you move, how you invest your energy. But when you operate from self-respect, you take that power back. You recognize that your worth is not dependent on their actions. Your peace is not tied to their remorse. And here's another truth. Closure is often an illusion. Sometimes, even when someone explains themselves, even when they apologize, you still feel empty, because closure doesn't heal the wound. Closure doesn't rewrite the past. It doesn't fix the fact that trust was broken, that boundaries were crossed, or that your heart was hurt. Healing comes from within. Respect comes from within. And the sooner